What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. We'll break down what's happening to the overall market as we have important data coming out for today, and what the news is saying about Tesla. So we have a big update involving Tesla India. But before I begin the devil's information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, for Tesla, we had this falling wedge like pattern that developed. Tesla attempts to get this little breakout, testing 165 in the morning, then it came back down. The market's slowing down a bit, so this is dragging Tesla down, so we have to see how well Tesla holds up. It's showing some strength. It's actually improving a little bit, but we have to try to establish a higher low relative to this low. We have to see Tesla try to break out from here in order for this to remain bullish. It is trying to turn a bit, so be very, very careful. Let's talk about some data first before I break down the charts. So for today, we actually had some industrial production numbers. Industrial production dropped a little bit. Same thing with manufacturing. This is part of why the market kind of fell a bit. But besides that, now at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes after the market opens, we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report, the 5-year inflationary expectations, and inflationary expectations for the month of March all coming out. This data from Michigan is coming out in about 45 minutes from now, or basically 30 minutes after the market opens. So we will see if we get some kind of high volatility move. Does this cause the market to turn? Watch for a big reaction after this comes out, possibly. On top of this, I just want to mention that SPY has a lot of options expiring. We have over 1.3 million calls expiring and over 4.1 or close to 4.1 million puts expiring. So a 3.1 puts to call ratio. Now, the thing is, most of the puts are already out of the money. And the question is, will we see shorts try to fight back and try to get more of them in the money? Max Payne's closer to 490, so will the market makers get us closer to 490, or will they cause the market to run to squeeze shorts? As of right now, the market's showing some weakness, in my opinion. The market's not holding up as well as it was yesterday, at least towards the end of the day. So we'll have to be a little bit careful knowing how many options are expiring. So be careful with the tricks the market makers could be playing. On top of this, there's some news coming out that the Dow Jones snapped a 3-day winning streak yesterday, and we saw a lot of stocks fall. So we'll see if we can get a bounce or not today. Morgan Stanley has named the head of the firm-wide AI development known as Jeff McMillan. He's basically known for helping with lots of projects for AI solutions based on OpenAI's GPT-4, which is actually very useful. On top of this, SpaceX's towering Starship rocket had many milestones completed today during a third test flight. It actually did incredible things, soaring for roughly an hour, and it actually went extremely high and did incredible things. That's awesome news for them. There's a lot of news about Amazon catching up with those retail fraudsters out there who are just like tricking Amazon into refunding them for things. So there's going to be more checks on this. This is something worth noting. That's all I'm really seeing on the news for the overall market. Nothing too crazy is coming out as it's a Friday. But for Tesla, we have something different. India has cut some import taxes on EVs in a win for Tesla's entry plans. What's basically happening is India is going to lower import taxes on certain EVs for companies committing to invest at least $500 million and setting up a local manufacturing facility within 3 years. That could actually shift a lot of things for Tesla so far. Now, with companies having to invest a minimum of $500 million, this is going to be big news for them because this will allow firms who meet the requirements to import 8,000 EVs a year at a reduced import duty of 15% on cars costing $35,000 and above. So that's going to work with quite a few cars at least every single year. And that's actually a big change in policy, which can actually benefit Tesla. So this does increase the odds of us getting a Tesla entry into India. So this is some good news for Tesla, which is why we got a little pop in the morning. So far, so good. There's also some talk about Cathie Wood, who's been continuing to hold Tesla and the shares. So we're actually seeing in the different investment funds, Cathie Wood scooped a total of 143,000 Tesla shares last week, and since then she's continued to just keep her targets, maintain her position, and she is going to be planning on buying even more the more Tesla drops, in my opinion. So far so good. That is a decent piece of news as well. Now, with the news being decent, the question is, can Tesla try to hold this area? We had this potential breakout from this falling wedge. We tested 165, we returned to 162.5. If we bounce and break past 165, we're going to be pushing even higher towards 167 plus. If we're bearish, and we end up losing 162, well, you have to watch 160, guys. We got to hold this on Tesla. If we lose this, we're going to be sinking back down to 157.5. So watch and see if Tesla could establish a higher low relative to this low right here, and see if the data that comes out at 10 o'clock a.m. helps this thing bounce or not. So watch and see if this ends up being the case. There's a little bit of life on Tesla, but the overall market is not as strong right now, so this could slow things down. Overall, though, Tesla is trying to establish a higher low, so we got to hold above 162 to remain bullish. If we lose 162, we're going to turn back down, and it's going to turn back to bearish. So watch 162 as critical support. If you see Tesla lose this, we're going to be sinking back down to either 160 or 157.5. If we hold above 162, we could push to 165 again, if not 167. So I'll be watching that and watch for the reaction once all the data comes out. As of right now, Tesla's showing some life. We have a potential breakout structure from this falling wedge, so we'll see if Tesla gets a follow-through move, but we have to hold 162. We're barely holding it right now. It's going to be very important for Tesla. Now, SPY, on the other hand, is not looking as strong. SPY is starting to sink again. We had a break in structure, so we were basically trading sideways. We had these wicks forming, so I was hoping that this could lead to some kind of break stop sign, but we needed confirmation for that to happen, right? I said watch for confirmation, and instead we actually failed. We actually broke below 512, so 513.5. Now we're barely at 512. We're testing the lows from yesterday. If we lose support at 512, SPY could fall all the way down to 510, if not 508.5. So if we do continue to hold below 513.5, this is going to remain bearish because the market makers have max pain at 490. They could possibly push us down just to get us closer to max pain. Who knows? It's OPEX. Anything could happen. Things are insane. So we'll just have to wait and see. In my opinion, I think there's a possibility that SPY is starting to turn bearish. We actually broke below this support. Yesterday, I said to watch this range to see which way we go. So now we're actually going in the opposite direction. So if we lose the support right here where the wick is, this thing could start sinking all the way down to 510, if not 509. So be careful. The chart's looking a bit more bearish, and this could slow things down for Tesla. For the QQQ, we're seeing something very similar. The QQQ is it just lost 438, which is a bad sign. If we lose 438, we could start sinking all the way down to 436, if not 434. To be bullish, you want to break 438 to make our way up above at 440.5. As of right now, it's looking a little bit weaker. This could start sinking a bit lower, so be careful, guys. I'm seeing a little bit of weakness on the chart. We were range bound on the QQQ, but we're starting to fall a bit more. So just be very careful, and we'll have to see how it does. For Nvda made an attempt to break from this falling wedge. So we had a falling wedge right here on the chart. We got a break all the way up to about 892. We failed to get back above 900 though, and we failed to hold above 885, this yellow line right here. So because we failed to hold that, it's a sign of weakness on the chart. So Nvidia is barely holding 872. If we lose this, we'll be looking for a retest of 862. This would be a failed breakout. It tried to break up and it's starting to fail. So if it loses 862, we could turn back to bearish and sink all the way down to 850. And to turn bullish, you have to break back above 885 and eventually 900. So we're looking a little weak. We failed to get a hold above 885. If this keeps sinking, this is going to drag the QQ down lower. There is a risk of 862 and eventually 850 on Nvidia. So be careful. It's looking weaker. Apple was trying to break out today. It wanted to break out and it failed. So it hit 174. It was trying and it failed, came all the way down to 172. If we lose that, this is going to start sinking all the way down to 170.9 if we lose 172 flat. So we're looking a little bit weaker on Apple. We were trying to break out and failed so far. So not the best of signs for Apple, especially because we had a cup and handle, but we failed. The setup has failed so far. So it's not looking the best. Apple has to try to break above 174 to turn bullish, and also has to try to reverse from here. As of right now, it hasn't done so. So now, guys, I'm a little concerned about Tesla because if the market starts sinking, this could actually drag Tesla down a little bit lower. We'll have to try to hold 162 for this thing to have life for the bounce. So could it bounce? It is possible we try to get a bounce, but we have to hold 162. If we lose this, we have to be careful, guys. Tesla could get dragged down to 160, if not 157.5 again. If we hold 162 and try to push up, it could show some life, but as of right now, be careful. The market's showing some weakness, and this is dragging Tesla down lower. Please be very, very careful on Tesla. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Watch your levels. Watch the data that's coming out. I'll see you guys in just about an hour. Thank you for listening, and peace out.